Good morning, bon dia. Rob Evans, Farmers Tired Eyes on YouTube. And today's talk, a fairly brief one, is about knowing your boundaries. This came about from basically myself being in the fire service for so long, and everyone expects good old reliable Rob to keep doing this, and hey, let's just give him some more to do, and you just get on and knuckle down. And I know the NHS staff, firefighters, and doctors, nurses, everybody, and even outside of that, they're doing this all the time. We're taking on more and more stresses. Life seems to be getting more and more complicated. Yeah, this has a mental effect on us, a physical effect on us, and eventually we become exhausted. So unless we recognise and identify it, because we have the added burdens, should we say, of being at home, financial issues, family, which then affects your family and relationships, this all comes out and we end up snapping at each other, and it's just not healthy. So we take it out sometimes on the ones that are closest to us by accident, and yeah, it's not healthy, it's not good. So I've seen it as having like a rucksack, and if I'm carrying my rucksack around, it's my problems that I put in my rucksack. Trouble is, other people would sneak up and they stick their shit problems in your rucksack, and you end up taking on more and more and more. Now, yesterday I was on a bike ride, and I was trying to keep up with two fitter and stronger blokes. They're a lot healthier than I am, their race, their pace. And I got to that point thinking, do you know what? No, I need to stop, because I'm not doing myself any good. So I identified and recognised that I was pushing myself to my limits, my boundaries. And that's when I started getting muscle twinges and aches and pains again. So I recognised and identified and said, nah, do you know what, guys, I'm going to go right here and clear off, which was what I was going to do anyway. That's stupid that I pushed myself a bit to stick with them, because there's a bit of a competitive side to me, which is with most people, and I'll come on to this a bit later when we talk about the fire service as well. But it's learning to say no and to give back give back the problems that people sneak up on you. So you might end up taking on a little report writing from a management above you. Flipping up, yeah, I'll get onto that. I used to argue the toss with them, and then a good mate of mine pointed out, he said, yeah, just say to him, yes, I'll do that, and just put it to one side. Saves the argument, saves the confrontation. So there's ways of getting around it, and it's a way of self-preservation to look after you. Now, a lot of firefighters, as we've been finding, we've been doing a documentary here, and we were hoping to be back in the UK now to carry on doing this documentary. But when you start chatting to firefighters, they don't want to speak out because it's a macho thing, and don't want to be seen to be weak, and it's a lot of bravado in the service. Yeah, it can't be seen to be in the weak link, it can't be seen, oh, I'm not falling apart, I'm fine. It's kind of that attitude. But also now there's even more pressures, I suppose is the right word, and I don't want to pick on management. However, management are leaning on them, and they can't speak out because they have fear of being sacked. That's disgusting. We have a bullying and harassment policy. We're not being funny, but they need to fucking read it, because that is bullying and harassment. I don't know how to go on this one, but since I've left the service, no one has been knocking on my door asking if I'm okay. So what I'm trying to do is, rather than pick on somebody and blame somebody, which is kind of the culture, I think, well, actually, how can I self-help? And this is what I like to do. So self-preservation means that I have got to look after myself, because no one's going to come knocking on my door, which they haven't been, saying, Rob, since you left the job, are you okay? Because they haven't. Now, if we're in a fire situation, in everything in the burning building, you've got all that superheated gases and smoke and flame and the potential of death. And if you're stood up, you're about 900 degrees. About chest level is about 600, about waist level maybe 300, and if you're on the floor, it's a lot cooler. So there's different levels of stress. Now, if you keep adding to your stress levels, if you're in a fire, do you want to stand up? You don't add to it, you get yourself down. And then you're looking at, how am I going to protect myself? You've got your, do you stand up? Do you get down? Do you get right down? You could be crawling on the floor. Bearing in mind you're there to rescue a person, and 9 out of 10 they've fallen over, so they're on the floor anyway. So you're going to drag them out. You're not going to do the bravado, put them on your shoulder and carry them out. You're going to kill them. So you drag them out, you get them out, and you shut the door. But you've also got water. So you can spray and you can cool. So you've got self-protection. And the biggest one of that is you remove yourself, get yourself out of that building. So if there's situations you don't like that is happening, be it an argument with somebody, do you know what? Rather than lash out and say something, or in the car, just go the other way. Walk away, get away. You don't have to do confrontation with people. It's not healthy. It's not good for your energy. If someone's in a shitty mood, that's their shitty mood. Don't absorb theirs and take it on. Good morning. so, so don't take on their shitty mood. And it's our perspective. So recognize when you're struggling. Identify one problem at a time. So if you've got problems, and I treat all of my problems as a stone, and I see it as a stone, and I put it in my rucksack and I'm carrying it. And if I keep putting more and more stones in there, eventually I can't carry it. I'm exhausted. So see each one as an individual problem and deal with it one at a time. If I pick a stone out of my rucksack and say, hang on a minute, this is your emotional blackmail or crap or whatever it is. This is yours, you deal with it. And compartmentalize it. Yeah, that other word. Can't remember. I'm not going to bother going there. But put it into boxes. And I know my mates are taking the piss out of this now, it's brilliant. But put it into boxes and work it out one at a time. If it's not priority, don't deal with it. Priority when we turn up a house fire is those that are hanging out the window, shouting and screaming, flames are looking out their ass. We need to go and get them. That's priority. The ones that we can't see, well, we don't know, but then we make it a priority. So we prevent it escalating, we put the fire out, prevent it spreading, and then we deal with it one at a time. Prioritize. Maybe I've been lucky that I've had many years of conditioning, but we can still do this now. But it's also setting up healthy boundaries. So it's learning to say no. It doesn't mean you're being horrible and nasty, you're just saying no. Like yesterday, cycling, no, I can't go at the front anymore. We're taking it in turns, leaping front, because it takes up 25% of the wind resistance off you, so you can have a bit of a rest. I ended up saying no, and I just stuck in as number 3 all the way. And those two were leapfrogging each other and whizzing along. I just do well to keep up with. I'm happy with that. But it's about looking after me, and I've had twinges with muscles, and I need to preserve that and make sure I can keep going. So eating well, sleeping well, then allows you to think correctly and think well. Now, by me speaking out, I'm now allowing other people, giving them permission in the fire service, in the NHS, the military, to also speak out. I'm not some gung-ho that, I'm not some hero. We all burn, we all die, firefighters are dying in their job. I'm not superhuman, I'm not a superhero. I'm just doing my job. That's because that was what I chose to do. But we take on a hell of a lot. And because it's seen as we're going in when everyone's coming out, look at them, aren't they great? We absorb more than we think we do. And it's only when I left the fire service did it really hit me, because I was maybe too distracted, too busy, and it was hard work. So giving other people permission to speak out. We used to have debriefs around the mess table, and you'd individually ask someone, what did you think of this incident? Are you okay with that? And you could see the ones that wanted to say something but wouldn't, because they would have fear of being ridiculed, or like, oh, what's up with you, flipping heck? Oh, he's off for stress. And people you could hear it around the mess table. People come and live in my house at the stress I've got. You think, wow, okay, but none of us know what each one of us are dealing with and what of our coping capacities might be. So I want to give people that they no longer feel they're isolated. They can speak out and relate to it. Like I said, I was in charge of the truck. I always try and be positive, and I'll laugh about things. But like I say, I also know people hide behind smiles. Because it's got to be. I like to laugh and piss about, and it helps me get through. And there's a lot of dark humour in the fire service and the military, and anyone, because it's a way of coping. So don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to set up boundaries. It's not about being confrontational, saying no. It's just about being healthy, and it's knowing that what you've been absorbing is what your limits are and what you can and can't deal with. And of course, when I was in France, I was at my deepest, darkest, and I say, like I said, the fire brigade haven't been knocking on my door, texting me and ringing me, even some of my mates, bless them, because they're all busy dealing with their own stuff. Well, sometimes not good at communication. And I had just me and my wife. We were in isolation, and I ate some pretty shitty times. So when you're at rock bottom, you've only got two choices, I suppose, and I wasn't going to choose that one. Yeah, you contemplate it, but you think, nah, there's too much to live for, and I love my kids and everything else, so there's too much to live for. And kind of this is why I'm driven to make this happen as well, is to get out here, support and encourage others. So even if we're just a little voice, we're a voice that can be heard, and it's those that hear it that you least expect, and when they most need it, it's what it's all about. So it's important that we reach out, and it's also vital that you speak out. I know I keep coming up with these little quotes, and it won't happen till it happens, you'll make it happen, all these things, but yeah, reach out and speak out, because even if you say it to yourself, if you write something down or you say it out loud, it changes. Everything changes. It's out there. And sometimes listening, doing a video like this, and you hear it back from yourself thinking, flipping out, did I say that? I say I've written 3 books. They're there not as doom and gloom, they're there to inspire and encourage. There's humour in there deliberately, because I know what people do. Oh, I'm really reading that crap and I've got enough on my plate. No, it's not about that. It's about encourage and inspire. Plus the funds are going back to the Bombay and Firefighters Charity, which none of us know if we might, or our families might need it. So we help each other. But it is about setting up those boundaries, and they're healthy ones. This is about being positive. It's about a mind shift. If we can see it as a positive, I wasn't gonna, I was competitive yesterday with the cycling. I wasn't gonna go, oh, I'm done, and just wade off. I just tucked in and stayed with them, thinking, right, that's it. But yeah, I was so glad I wasn't going left. I went right. They carried on, I think he did 100k. When I look back at his 100k, he's an hour faster than me. Well, I'm not going to be a podium finisher. This is my race, my pace, which is as it is yours. It's your mental struggles, physical struggles, and mine are mine. I own them, and I'm dealing with them, and I'm hoping I can encourage and support others to deal with theirs. So, and remember, reach out and speak out, even if it's just yourself, but there are professionals out there. You've got the Samaritans, you've got your occupational healths. Just reach out and speak out. There's so many charities that are doing good work, and do you know, in these times we all need each other. So communication is the key. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you want to carry on, you can either subscribe or join me, send a message if you like it, and I'll say ciao for now. Bye.